It's Sunderland that are getting promoted to the Championship after winning 2-0 at Wembley against Wycombe Wanderers in the League One playoff final. So in this video, I'm going to review the match and then give my thoughts, and then also a little kind of hint as to how I think Wycombe and Sunderland will do next season. But first of all, congratulations to Sunderland. They, for me, quickly to say that they fully deserved it on the day. I was there at Wembley, and like I said, Sunderland were the better team, especially in the first half, and they thoroughly deserved to win. So let's go through the lineups first of all. Sunderland made one change to their draw against Sheffield Wednesday away from home. Jack Clarke was on the bench, while Elliot Embleton started. Elliot Embleton, of course, being 23 years old, so very young, and a Sunderland Academy graduate. And Alex Neil explained in his post-match interview the reason why he started Elliot Embleton was because in both games in the regular season against Wycombe, he'd done really well. And that decision was justified because he scored in the first half. I'll get onto that in a second. But anyway, Wycombe, on the other hand, they didn't make any changes. They were unchanged from their team that played against MK Dons in both legs, actually, because it was the same team. So, first half, I think going into the game, it was clear from most people, and this is what I thought as well, that Sunderland needed to start well. And if they'd started well, it would be really hard for Wycombe to get back into the game, because Wycombe like to sit deep, soak up pressure, and they don't mind not having the ball. But if Sunderland were able to score first, then it meant that the initiative would then be on Wycombe to then attack Sunderland in the second half. So Sunderland started really well, and actually Danny Bath, one of the centre-backs for Sunderland, said in his post-match interview that the Sunderland players knew they had to start well, and that's exactly what they did. In the first half, they created a number of really good chances. Alex Pritchard had a free kick that hit the side netting, and then Elliot Embleton ran through on goal, had a shot. For me, I definitely think the keeper should have done more. The shot was very powerful. It was a really good strike, but there wasn't any deflection on it, and it was really close to David Stockdale. It's unfortunate in a way, because if Stockdale had just moved his right arm a little bit further up, a little bit quicker, then I think the ball would have just gone over the goal. But alas, that wasn't the case, and that goal was crucial for Sunderland, and they scored to make it 1-0. And then from there, they just got even better. They still created more chances. And for me, it really took about till the 40th minute for Wycombe to really get into the game and create anything of note. But then at half-time, Sunderland were 1-0 up, and Sunderland had 3 shots on target, I believe. At least they had 7 shots, but at least 3 shots on target. Or I think they had 3 corners. While I can check now, hold on. Sunderland in the first half, Sunderland had 3 shots on target and 2 corners, while Wycombe had 1 shot, none on target, which is really poor. So, second half, all the initiative was on Wycombe, and they had to go for it. To be fair to Gareth Ainsworth, he didn't make any changes at half-time, but in the 55th minute, he did make a change. He brought on Lewis Wing for Daryl Horgan. So that just shows that Gareth Ainsworth clearly was keeping the same team for the second half, seeing how they responded, and if nothing of note changed, then Gareth Ainsworth would be proactive. And to be fair, I think Gareth Ainsworth was proactive because he put on Lewis Wing relatively early, and then also he brought on Brandon Hallen for Jordan Obita relatively early on in the second half, given that he took off Jordan Obita, who's typically speaking a left-back playing left midfield, and then bringing on Brandon Hallen, who typically speaking is a winger/striker. So relatively proactive from Gareth Ainsworth. But yeah, Wycombe, they were always going to improve in the second half, and that was the case. The best chance for Wycombe in the second half, falling to Sam Vokes. Anthony Stewart, long ball into the Sunderland box, then the ball bounced over the Sunderland defender and it fell really nicely to Sam Vokes, but he just couldn't get the ball out of his feet quick enough, and he had a little bit of a toe poke shot, but Patterson did well to make himself big and keep his feet on the ground, because that allowed the ball to just be trapped under Patterson's feet, and then the Sunderland goalkeeper saved the ball relatively comfortably. But yeah, if Vokes maybe one touch finish or just had a quick touch and then tried to dink it over the keeper, perhaps he could have scored. But it's easy for me to say, and in these big games you're only going to have a few chances, and as good a striker Sam Vokes is, he is a very good League One striker, but if even Premier League strikers struggle to take their one chance they get in a match. So Wycombe, they didn't take their chances, and eventually Sunderland got the second goal, the crucial second goal. And it was relatively bad timing for Wycombe because they were growing into the game, they were creating more chances. As I said, Lewis Wing and Brandon Hallam came on the second half, and then Dominic Gape, who's one of the Wycombe midfielders, because in midfield you had Gape and Scowen, the two small Wycombe midfielders, basically running around and collecting the balls and distributing it out wide. Dominic Gape got injured, and like I said, Gareth Ainsworth was proactive, and this was further evidence because he brought on Akinfenwa, the 40-year-old, his final game in professional football, striker, was brought on for midfielder Dominic Gape. But then 4 minutes later, Ross Stewart scores, and that really killed the game off. Like I said, Wycombe was still building up pressure and momentum. They made all their changes, and then Sunderland goes score the second. After that, Jack Clarke had a great chance to make it a third, and in the end, it finished 2-0. In my opinion, I think it was a deserved win. Sunderland were fantastic on the day, and it was their time. Going into the game, a lot of the Wycombe fans were worried about Alex Neil's record in the playoffs, given that he's won promotion via the playoffs with Hamilton and Norwich. And it kind of proved to be the case, given his experience in these situations and playing Elliot Embleton over Jack Clarke and then timing the substitutions well. You have to say Sunderland were the better team, and for me, they definitely deserved to win. As for Wycombe, they gave it everything. They can definitely be proud of their efforts. Of course, they'll be disappointed with their first half performance, but they gave 100% effort and they can be proud of the season they've had. They've been phenomenal. For a club like Wycombe to finish 6th with the resources they have is brilliant from Gareth Ainsworth and the team. And I'm sure that next season they will be back competing right at the top of League One. But as a neutral, we got Wycombe and Derby as a match to look forward to in League One. That will be very entertaining. And of course, Wycombe MK Dons repeat of the playoffs. As for Sunderland, they're promoted to the Championship. And actually, when they appointed Alex Neil, I think it was a proper coup because a lot of people, I think, would agree that Alex Neil is a Championship quality manager. So the fact that he was able to be attracted to Sunderland was a big boost for the Mackems, and then now he's got them promoted. Now, the thing about League One to Championship, it's actually getting harder. It's getting harder to stay up in the Championship if you're a newly promoted team. You look at this season just gone, Peterborough and Barnsley have completely failed, given that Derby finished above Barnsley and had a minus 21 point deduction. That's shocking. Only Blackpool stayed up. Although I would say Blackpool comfortably, deservedly stayed up, and they got promoted via the playoffs, but they play really great football, they've got decent recruitment, and it shows that actually, if you do things relatively smartly as a club, you can get promoted and stay up comfortably and play good football. And actually, going into the Championship season, I reckon Sunderland have more of a chance of staying up than Rotherham and Wigan, because with Rotherham, they've just got so many years' experience of getting promoted and getting relegated, and Rotherham don't have a lot of resources, so I think they're going to struggle to improve their team. With Wigan, they are a good side, don't get me wrong. I just think with Alex Neil as manager, Sunderland have got a really good tactician and someone that can get Sunderland a few extra points, because I do rate Alex Neil as a decent Championship manager. And with Sunderland, I think they've got a good blend of young players in Roberts, maybe not Roberts as such anymore, but certainly Embleton and Jack Clarke and Patterson in goal and Sirkin in defence. But then you've also got that experience of Wright and Bath and Pritchard and Corey Evans, who have played at either Championship level or international level. And also, I think Ross Stewart, since he's come in for Sunderland, he's been really, really good for them, and I definitely think he'll make the step up to Championship level. So that's my review of the League One playoff final. It was a great occasion to be at. Both sets of fans were absolutely fantastic, created a really good atmosphere. But congratulations, Sunderland, thoroughly deserved promotion. As for Wycombe, commiserations to them, but I definitely think they'll be back strong again in League One next season. So thank you for watching the review. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Thank you.